Hello and welcome to this particular review session audio on the Organisation and Programme Office syllabus area, as you can see up here. And this is question 2 in the practice paper, and this is part A worth 4 marks. Now note in the question box there is no bold information except for these two words, true statements. So basically what we're saying, you do not need to look at anything else except the information given below, and they are true statements. So bear in mind, you do not need to go looking for those statements anywhere else to clarify them. They're telling you they are true here, and that's all you need to know, and that's what you're using to answer your questions. Once again, it says note only 2 statements are appropriate, because we're looking at organisation and roles, and therefore we have 5 answer statements, so that supports that. So open up the appendix to do with the roles within the program if you wish to have some help to understand that, as well as in the main theme chapter. So firstly, we're looking at BCMs, Business Change Managers. Remember, they're supposed to be representing the areas of business that we're transitioning the capabilities and therefore the overall change into. So think about what is relevant to that. So the first statement, the program has 8 multidisciplinary projects. Well, that may be very true, but that's not anything to do with where the business change manager comes in. This is more about the projects themselves. The BCMs are to do with business area, so A is not correct. Project 6 is dividing into stages that are delineated by location. Well, once again, that has nothing to do with the business itself. Is just to do with areas in geographical areas. So this is not relevant for a business change manager either. The capability for tranche 1 is expected to be delivered at the end of month 9. Well, BCMs normally come on board sort of fairly early on, around, certainly if not during identifying a program, they certainly should be around during defining, because they will have an input to looking at the benefits we're going to be realised and also the impact on the program on their particular specific business areas. What is happening here, this is just looking at specific capability for tranche when it comes out. Not really relevant to when we get BCMs on board. So hopefully the last 2 are correct. The only 2 statements we have left. So the program will have an impact on the training department. Well, this is absolutely spot on. The training department will therefore have a business change manager who will represent that and understand how that works to help transition it is and champion their parts as well. Right, so that's where the BCM, who may have support of a business change team, in that case, depending how big the department is, will be impacted by that, and therefore that would be a good point to think of. Finally, the shop managers will have new responsibility to develop staff, which may increase their load. Once again, looking at the stability and the ongoing capability within particular areas and how it's impacted on the people in there is also something that the business change managers are very much involved with and representing, and therefore that would be a good piece of consideration for appointing a BCM, because that area will be impacted by the change. So the answers there are D and E. Okay, number 2. Now, number 2 is to say which are the 2 most relevant factors. So some of them are probably relevant, but the 2 are more important than others. So let's have a look at an independent consultant is available and has a number of qualifications in project and program management. Well, they're not really attribute for a BCM. It's more about understanding the business area. So understanding program and project management isn't necessarily that crucial at this particular point. Training centre manager will be available to work on the program on a full-time basis. Fine, but it doesn't mean to say that that will be relevant to a BCM to be involved. And apart from the fact, as it says here, they're not on full-time basis, because we want the BCMs to be working in their own particular business areas more fully, so they can keep up to pace and be able to represent them much more fully throughout the program. Right. So that's completely contrary to what we want to see at BCM. C. The facilities compliance manager reviews compliance with property management strategy, right? Well, that's more like audit and assurance, really about reviews, compliance, sexually and management strategy, and that's really relevant to a business change manager, as we said. So once again, we only have 2 statements left, so hopefully they are correct. So check them, because you might find that maybe they're not, or one of them isn't, and you missed something in an earlier statement. So D, the Northtown Training Centre manager is very familiar with Vital's training methods and operational procedures. Well, that's something that we need to consider, because again, if they understand how that works in that particular area and we're transitioning and that's where the change is going to take place, then that's a good representation for that area and that role. The facilities director is a very experienced change manager. Well, this is also a key point. He has been involved in a large number of successful programs, and they will have a good understanding about the skills and understand the difficult situations and how to transition into their own business area. So that would be a good factor for engaging the facilities director. So the answer there are D and E. So let's look at factors appointing the program manager. So the program manager needs to understand how interrelations between programs and projects in the program, releases, and looking at for managing that particular aspect at the higher level. All right. So finance manager has a reputation for delivering accurate financial reports on business performance. Well, that's not relevant to doing any business change, so that's not really a relevant point here. Oh yeah, PM, program manager have to do reports, but that's not really what it's really about here. The training manager has worked successfully with senior managers in a range of complex programs. Well, there's a good clue: complex programs, and worked successfully with senior managers. Remember, the program manager's role, one of the key areas, is to communicate with senior managers in the program and senior stakeholders. So that's quite an important attribute. So that's a good consideration. C, the purchasing director has the ability to describe a clear picture of a new training. Well, that's more like an SRO type role anyway, who can put the clear vision and describe that vision to the senior stakeholder and management teams to understand what it's all about. So that's actually not good for a PM, program manager in this case, but for the SRO, the senior responsible office owner. D. Right. The Southdown Training Centre is enthusiastic about program. Well, fine. That doesn't mean anything really. That's a bit subjective, so that's not a consideration. Remember, you need to look at the objective side of things too, more than the subjective. So let's look at E. Hopefully this is the only answer we have left to make the pair. The North Training Centre manager's training and management experience and ability to persuade senior managers is respected in the company. So ability to persuade, again, communication, understands about the training and management experience, therefore has a good understanding about the whole program as well. Therefore that's a good representation. So therefore B and E are the correct answers in this case. And finally, let's have a look at question 4. Risks. So what risks would be around? What 2 risks would be most relevant when considering whether to appoint a DA, design authority, for the program? So the design authority looks at specific areas of handling the designs of the blueprints and to address the scope, the vision. So let's have a look. If members of staff use more than one centre for their training needs, benefits might be double counted, leading to poor benefits tracking. Right. But that's very true, but that's really got nothing to do with a design authority role, right? And actually, any sort of conflict or indecision there may really use the role of the benefits realization manager. That's what this is all about. It's about benefits tracking. It's all to do with the benefits manager, not to do with a design authority. Right. Because of the tight timescales, unsuitable properties may be purchased, leading to a large number of inappropriate properties. Well, this is where the design authority will come in, understanding the overall solution from that point of view, and therefore would be able to advise on that particular set of issues there, and therefore circumvent those, hopefully. So that would be a good role there. Right. Incorrect. beg your pardon. Lack of experience within the program management team might cause culture change required by the change to be poorly managed, leading to time delay. Well, this is the business change manager's role, actually, not a design authority role. Therefore, that's not an appropriate answer either. Right? So far, B looks pretty good. Let's have a look at D. Due to lack of knowledge, the program manager might not follow Bytewalk's purchasing strategy. Right. Well, that's got nothing really to do with a design authority, even though it's about buying properties. It's more about governance roles and it's more about compliance, etc. So that's really not to do with the design authority. Finally, poor communication between region training centres might mean Bytewalk is unable to deliver a coherent business model. Right. Well, because about business models and blueprints, etc., as before, I make sure that these are aligned to the overall solution and what we're implementing here. Then, leading to a failure recognise one of the 5 training providers, they can certainly help to avoid those particular risks. So again, that would be a good answer. Therefore, the answers here are B and E. Right. Hopefully, you've successfully answered that particular set of questions. Once again, if there are concerns, do have a read through again through the organisation area and address your concerns to a tutor if you feel you need some further clarification or support or help or wish to discuss some of that area. Thank you.